This four-part video series will walk you through one way to plan for inquiry in language arts using a backwards design model. This is step 3 in a 4-step process that outlines how to plan for assessment and instruction based on the outcome modeled in the Planning for Language Arts through InquiryBased Learning document. In the previous video, we planned for assessment by determining success criteria and deciding what evidence of learning will be used for assessment. And now it's time to move on to step 3. Once you have determined the evidence of learning that will be used for assessment, you can begin to develop an instructional plan to sequence the learning experiences and assessment opportunities that will support your learners in meeting learning goals in relation to the outcome. The inquiry questions you have already developed at the beginning of the planning process can now be used to frame your instructional plan. Inquiry-based learning allows learners to explore real-world issues and authentic situations that they may encounter outside of the classroom in order to foster learning that transfers. When beginning your instructional plan, it will be helpful to keep a few questions in mind. What skills, strategies, and processes should be taught to support learners in achieving learning goals? How can I sequence the lessons to scaffold the learning in relation to the learning goals? How can I appropriately pace lessons in response to learning needs? What resources will I need to arrange or access to support this inquiry? You have already chosen the outcome for your inquiry and set learning goals based on concepts and skills. In planning for assessment, you also determined success criteria in relation to the learning goals. Now you can consider how to sequence and scaffold learning experiences in order to support learners in meeting the outcome. In mapping an instructional plan, we need to consider how to scaffold the concepts and skills that learners will need to develop and explore in relation to the outcome. For example, learners will require explicit instruction and time to practice as they investigate how to develop their ideas before they can apply the writing process. To support you in your planning, the indicators provide a suggested order to scaffold learning in relation to the outcome. We also need to consider the discipline-specific knowledge and language processes students will need to develop as they engage with the inquiry. Because you will be returning to the same outcomes several times over the course of the year, you can focus your instructional plan on specific processes and discipline knowledge at different times. In our example, the first time learners engage with the outcome, they develop their ideas and engage with the research process to communicate their learning through an infographic or how-to manual. The next time learners engage with the outcome, they develop their ideas and engage with the writing process to communicate their learning through personal narrative. In this case, learners are given the choice of using a picture book, graphic memoir, or video as the communication form. We also want to consider how the plan will support learners in engaging with the inquiry questions they are exploring. By using your central inquiry question and focus questions as a framework for your instructional plan, you can provide learners with opportunities to answer big questions and solve problems by asking questions, looking for information, and communicating possible ideas and solutions through the development of language processes. In designing your plan, it's also important to consider learners' voice and choice. As you map your plan, you can think about how you can provide choice and respond to feedback from your learners as they engage with learning experiences. It's important that you plan for how to support learners when you offer choice. For example, before learners choose personal narrative texts to explore through author's craft, you may plan to lead a focus or mini lesson to provide explicit instruction on relevant literary elements and devices to support them in their exploration of their chosen text. Once we've mapped out the instructional plan, we're ready to move on to learning experiences. For more information, please see the next video in this series, Step 4, Plan Learning Experiences and Gather Resources.